This might get weird.
Are we rolling?
We're rolling.
Well, then cheers, Grace Helbig.
Cheers, Mamrie Hart.
Hello, and welcome to the first This Might Get Weird podcast episode of 2025.
Wow. Does that feel crazy to say?
It does kind of feel crazy. I mean, I love this number.
Yeah, this is a
Regal.
real important year. They're all saying 2025 is like a big year that everything shifts.
Well, I want to get into all of that. For me, it's just like I think about 2000. You know what I mean? Because that's the year I didn't graduate from high school. I graduated 2001. But like my mom was cleaning out some side tunnel in her house.
Right. And that was also the year we didn't know if we'd all still be here.
Well, exactly. But my mom sent me a picture of a cheerleading uniform and like a cover up. And it's because I was an all-star cheerleader.
Yes.
and I went and did the London Y2K parade. So I was in London for New Year's, which was a different layer of anxiety because I was like, is the world going to end and I'm in a different country?
Yeah.
But she sent it to me and I was like, oh, that's so cute. And I was like, that was 25 years ago.
Yeah. It's wild. I'm officially in the year which I turned 40, which does not
How do you feel?
compute to me. Not that I'm like weird about turning 40. It's just a number you're socially conditioned to be like, that is an older person. Mm-hmm. And you know this, we've talked about this before, that I have consistently been the younger person in a lot of situations.
You don't say, Helbig.
Like, no, even because my birthday's in September. So
Right.
I got, in my class, I was the youngest one. And then
We were both the September.
Yes.
of
Yeah.
the crew.
So it's just like, oh, wow. Now I'm older. And there's you just start noticing that people are younger than you.
Yeah.
In a more predominant way. Not in a way that makes me feel like bad about myself, but it's just
Okay,
sometimes
good.
a little disorienting. Because
Yeah.
I was thinking about this a lot, not to get too heady first thing of our first episode of the year, but just the idea that there's all these the feeling that you don't know what you should be doing. Do you ever feel that where you're like, I have no idea what I should be doing with my in my life at this moment based on my age, because I feel like I'm still 25,
Of course.
but I'm going to be 40 and I don't have all of the traditional mile markers of being a 40-year-old like kids, etc.
I mean, a big mile marker for me, which I haven't reached yet.
Yeah.
I'm 40 years old and I've never had a walk-in closet.
Damn.
And that really pisses me off.
That is shit.
That is the kindling to my fire this year. Continue.
Well, you gotta. We have something on the list to manifest already.
Yeah, totally.
No, just that feeling of like, oh, there's a Larry that just
there's a wild
stormed
Larry
in.
that just came in.
Yay!
Come here, Larry.
Yay, the
Continue,
youth.
I'll pick
Speaking
him up.
of the youth, the feeling of just like sometimes, especially because we live these lives that are very nonlinear and very creative, that you're like, what the fuck am I supposed to be doing right now? And I see TikToks of people just soundbiting, being like, anyone else not know what the fuck they should be doing right now?
The world feels crazy in general. I mean, not to be a downer. I'm not going to be a downer, but we're recording this on January 6th. And so it's already weird air. And I've seen a lot of TikToks as well, which who knows how long we have it. That's like, anybody else just feel crazy? What's that about? And I'm like, oh, because I'm disassociating about politics and the state of the world, which normally I'm just so focused on myself right now, just for my own sanity.
Yeah.
Larry, if you want to come be on the podcast, you got to be on the podcast, bruh. You can't fight it.
Larry.
I'm going to put this little sardine down.
He's like, you guys are getting too deep for me. I'm out of
He's
here.
like, she brought up January 6th. She's like, I wasn't adopted yet. You don't know my whereabouts.
And I've never heard you guys talk about politics.
Came in here wearing a red shirt. Very suspicious, Larry, how
Yeah.
uncomfortable you got talking about January 6th. Quit licking your arm. Okay. Anyway, but so everything feels weird in general.
Yeah.
So that compounding that with top of the year, with your 40th year is, it's
There's a lot going
understandable
on.
to feel strange.
Yeah, not totally bad. Just sometimes just a little bit strange. But not bad.
Also, going through a huge transition right now because
you see this hair?
Have curly hair.
You guys see this hair right now? You see this little hobbit sitting over here?
I want it so bad. You're like my mom.
I have to figure out how to do. I'm getting it cut tomorrow, so hopefully that'll help me figure out how to best shape it. Because really, I am like almost scared of it because I don't know exactly what to do. But it's also exciting to be like, oh, I just let it dry and then see what happens. Like see how it decides to be.
See, my mom used to get perms.
Yeah, me too.
And when I think about like when I was probably 8 years old, she had short curly hair.
Yeah,
she would have been 40.
Yeah.
So this is very much like is that because of chemo or because you're turning 40?
It could be both. I know everyone's like, you look like your mom so much. And I see,
but she's gorgeous.
She's a stunner. Love my mom, but I see it. And that's what makes me go, oh, I see myself as an older person now, even though feelings wise, I might feel younger. I'm seeing the older version of myself a little bit.
Well, I am going to Palm Springs on Wednesday and flying my mom out because we were supposed to have obviously a lot of visiting time in October when I was going to be in North Carolina pre-hurricane and all that jazz. So I'm flying her out for 3 or 4 days. First of all, and we'll get into all this.
Yeah.
This will be my first not drinking parent visit since I'm doing dry January. So that'll be it. But then also additionally, as we're getting older, I'm going to be very keen and aware of how many things I'm doing like her.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And what that looks like.
Oh, totally.
So I'm really,
Yeah, you start to see
it's going to be a weekend.
Yeah, you're going to see it more clearly than you ever have.
Oh, yeah. Chip was like, well, you want me to come too? I was like, why don't you come for 2 nights? Instead of 4. And he's like, what? And I was like, you want to be with my mom 4 nights? Me and my mom 4 nights completely sober so you can just see what you're going to have. What will be in 30 years?
I don't need you to see this psychology firsthand.
No, you don't even like on the next episode. You don't need to see what you're going to be with in 30 years. The ultimate.
Oh, it'll be sweet.
It'll be sweet. Okay, so I mean, how do we even get into it? So do we talk about our break?
We had a long break, but
yeah.
I got here and we packaged up some packages that we sent to a tier on our Patreon, which is very exciting.
Called the Pervs.
Called the Perv
the
tier.
Perv box.
We might need to change that tier to title. We talk about it constantly and we just never do it.
Be problematic. We'll see.
And in doing that, we both were like, we each have a story that we want to tell each other that we can't tell while we're just like putting these boxes together to save it for the pod. So go ahead.
You want me to go ahead and say?
I'd love to.
Well, let me ask you this. What genre is your story?
My story is...
Is it wild? Is it sweet? Is it scary? Is it awkward?
It's adventurous and like weird and then ultimately kind of funny. It's about something that happened to my car.
Okay, well, this is one about travel.
Great.
Grace, you know I talk about flying and travel and many a thing on this podcast and have since the dawn of TMGW.
Yeah.
I'm about to tell you the worst flight I've ever had.
Yeah, I can't wait because even Chip was like, did you tell her about the flight yet? And so I was like, oh God, we're saving it for the pod.
Okay, so I said on here before, we were here for Christmas.
Yes.
Well, also, I took a flight to Seattle.
Right. I know. We haven't even talked about that. You went to the Jinx and Ben de la Creme.
Yeah. So that was just like a little fever dream. But so we were here for actual Christmas, but we knew we were flying out the next day to go to Georgia for his middle brother's wedding.
Yeah.
Which was on the 28th. So not an ideal timing. I'll just say it. I'm not afraid to say it.
They don't listen to the pod.
I don't think they listen to the pod, but that's all I'll say. But so it was like a fly to Atlanta, stay the night there, rental car, drive 3 hours, stay at a hotel, the next day, wedding, Airbnb, next day, get in the car, drive back, fly out.
Yeah.
It was a lot. So what we did is we got our flight back at like 10 p.m. because we were like, look, we're going to drive 3 hours.
Yeah.
There's holiday traffic.
Yeah.
We don't know if we'll be hungover. We'll probably want to like late check out at 1, go get lunch with the family, drive back, leisure. Like we didn't want it to be stressful.
Right.
And for me, I'm like, I love a Delta lounge. I'm like, I'd rather be at the airport for 4 hours than be almost making my flight.
Yeah. absolutely. We'll sit there and get little plates of little snacks and drink champagne.
There we go. And we had both dogs with us because Mary wasn't available.
Okay.
So already it was like we were at the rehearsal dinner and we had them in a running car in the parking lot.
This is like, the National Lampoons.
Yes, it was a lot. So anyway, we get up, we were not hungover. It was dry wedding. Another surprise. And
it was right after Christmas.
Yeah.
And completely sober.
We love to have days of not drinking when you know you're about to do dry January.
Yeah.
Y'all, it's the top of the new year and we all have the things we want to change, improve on. But I'll tell you one thing that I don't need to improve, and that is my underwear drawer, baby, because I spent the last year crafting it into a Skims heaven. I'm absolutely obsessed with Skims. I know you've heard about it. It's all the rage. You've seen it on social media. You've heard people talk about it. Well, guess what? The hype is real. It's that good. These are my favorite bra and panties and pajamas that I have ever experienced. You guys know I want to look like I'm from the 80s. I like a high-waisted thong, okay? I want to be the woman from Weird Science. It is my dream. Let me tell you, Skims makes this pair of underwear, the Fits Everybody high-waist thong. It is genius. I've never felt sexier. It cuts me just right, and they fit perfectly under my high-waist jeans, yes. And when I wear a little dress, I always put these on because it even gives like a little support around the stomach area. They feel like butter. They actually feel like you're not wearing any underwear, which I love. And the bras are so sexy. I've got matching sets. I'm feeling like a real girl, you guys, and Skims has done that for me. Plus, side note, I wear their pajamas every night. I am building an entire wardrobe of their pajamas. They are so soft. I find myself wearing them till like noon the next day, and I don't regret it. Another thing I love, which is a new addition to my drawer, is the Fits Everybody push-up bra. Yeah, maybe I'll get a little help, a little support for these bad boys. It took me years to find a good bra because honestly, sometimes you put it on and then you get that little back rollover. Not with Skims. They keep all of it in there while making my boobs look incredible. So you should give it a try. You need to shop Skims best intimates, including the Fits Everybody collection and more at skims.com and Skims stores. And after you place your order, do us a favor. Be sure to let them know that we are the ones that sent you. Select podcast in the survey and be sure to select our show in the drop-down menu that follows. Just give it a try. Get one pair of the high-waisted Fits Everybody thong. Oh my God, you're never going to go back.
It's that time of year where we all reevaluate our wellness, and one of the areas that I think is hugely important is our gut health. That's why I'm so excited we have support from Seed today. Seed has a product called DS-01, and DS-01 is formulated with 24 clinically and scientifically studied strains to support whole body benefits, including gut health, skin health, heart health, immune health, gut barrier integrity, gut microbial balance, and micronutrient synthesis in just 2 capsules a day. DS-01 is formulated with strains clinically validated to reduce abdominal bloating and intermittent constipation after 2 weeks. Don't love those 2 things. It includes strains shown to support clearer, healthier looking skin in as little as 12 weeks, and it's loved by their members. 92% of members have recommended DS-01 to a friend or a family member. It's also shown to increase good gut bacteria by 4.6 times or over 400%. And you know I've been on a roller coaster of gut health throughout the years. DS-01 is super easy to incorporate into your daily routine. It is portable, you can travel with it, and it does its job. So get ahead of the new year with a routine that helps you now by going to seed.com/TMGW and use code 25TMGW to get 25% off your first month. That's 25% off your first month of Seed's DS-01 Daily Symbiotic at seed.com/TMGW, code 25TMGW.
So anyway, we wake up, we go to like their local breakfast spot with his other brother and his wife and his mom and I think it was called like the Waffle King. So we go, it was great.
Love it.
So we get lunch or get breakfast, and then we make our way back and we're like, fuck, we made good time. We have a lot of time on our hands. So we go to like, Sweetwater Brewing, which is like Chip's favorite brewery. And we're like killing it, right?
Yeah.
We're literally Want to hear some irony?
Yeah.
We're literally eating boiled peanuts that on the menu, it's like from blah, 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 the hometown of Jimmy Carter, when we find out Jimmy Carter dies.
Wow.
We're eating peanuts from his hometown.
Wow.
When we find out he dies.
What does it mean?
First of all, best boiled peanuts I've ever had. I think they did them in beer.
I bet.
And also I was just like, this is crazy.
Wild.
This is wild. So anyway, we're having a fun time. We like go to Petco to get a new harness. We get to the airport, checked in, all good. Go to the Delta Lounge. There's like one restaurant in the Atlanta airport that's like supposed to be like the best restaurant.
Okay. Yeah. You're in the Atlanta airport.
Yeah.
Notoriously airport for holiday
Hijinks.
disasters.
Yep. So anyway, we're there. We're having a nice dinner. We're chilling. The restaurant just happens to be like 2 gates over from where we're leaving. So we're like sitting pretty. We've got like an hour till boarding. And then about 30 minutes before, I get a push notification that our gate has changed. And I'm like, fuck, it's Atlanta. It's huge. We're going to have to get on the train. We got to go. It's the furthest gate from everything. Like it's a haul, right? Yeah. So I'm like, but whatever. We have time. Let me get the check. And then I go into the app and it says we're going to Oklahoma City now. It's a direct flight to LA. And I go, what the fuck is that? Why does it say OKC? And so I call Delta. They're like, it's a glitch. The app is glitching. You're going to LA. There is a gate change. You're delayed an hour, but like, don't worry, you're not going to Oklahoma City tonight. So I'm like, okay, weird. We get to our gate. Everyone else is like, why does it say Oklahoma City? Like everyone's like confused. They're like, guys, the system is down. Like it totally messed up. We're going to have to reassign every seat by like manually.
Okay.
Right? The app doesn't work.
God.
Right?
Awful.
So we're like, oh, this sucks. But we have paper tickets because we have the dogs on our ticket.
Oh.
And we're flying back first class. Nice. So in our head, we're like, we're flying first. We got the dogs. We're all good. We have our paper tickets. Let's just go ahead and scan and get on board and like have some gin and tonics.
Yeah.
Chilling, right? So we scan, we get on board, we're chilling. What we didn't realize is them manually doing this process was going to take a long time. So we're sitting there, we have one drink, and then Larry sits up in Chip's lap and vomits everywhere.
No.
And I'm talking Nickelodeon. I'm talking like yellow, like a bucket of vomit.
Oh,
and of course we have blankets on them. So Chip's like, it's like, Chip has like some scarf from Nepal wrapped around him. And it's like, what the fuck, Larry, what's going on? No. So we're like tying it up. We're like, poor guy. I get like, we use like the bag that the pillow comes in. And we like wrap it up. And then a few minutes later, he vomits again. And we're like, oh no, Larry, oh God. Like we're on this plane.
Yeah.
They're still boarding. So we're on the plane for about an hour. And then Chip's like, okay, he's feeling okay. I got him settled down. I'm going to go to sleep. Chip puts on his eye mask. I'm sitting there.
Wait, you haven't taken off
We
yet?
haven't left the gate. Like people are coming in, maybe like 2 people every like 10 minutes.
He throws up twice and you guys just clean it up.
Right.
Do the flight attendants see this happening?
The flight attendant doesn't see this happening.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So we're sitting there probably 30 minutes later. The very sweet flight attendant comes up to me and he goes, honey, I think your dog had an accident. And I think he smells the vomit, right? And I go, I know, he got sick. He goes, no. And I look around and the 3 girls behind us are holding their noses. And I wake Chip up. Larry has diarrhea down the side of the plane. Chip looks at me and goes, oh my God, it's so bad. I was like, I smelled something. I thought like someone had like food on board. Like what's happening? So I go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Can I get Lysol wipes? Can I get like what? Everything. Flight attendant's so nice. Brings us stuff. We clean Larry up. We tie it up. Everyone on board. He goes down the aisle and sprays like air freshener. And so everyone around us is holding their noses and is pissed.
You guys, are the assholes in first class
with
your
tiny
dogs going
everywhere.
to Los Angeles, and they are puking and shitting everywhere. Poor little guy.
So Larry shits everywhere. We're like, oh my God, what's going on, buddy? Grace? Oh no. He shit every 15 minutes for 4 hours.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you the system we had worked out. First of all, we tried to get off the plane. They wouldn't let us. We had a stack.
They wouldn't let you off the plane?
No, because they couldn't tell. They didn't have like anyone's. They were like, no, we just got 50 people settled. We can't like, and now, at that point it was like a security thing.
Yeah.
So Chip has got a stack of napkins on Larry's ass. The second his tail moves weird or something happens, Chip grabs the soiled napkin, stuffs it into a trash bag. We take Lysol wipes, clean him up, and start again. Now, when I tell you, and I'm going back and forth to the angel flight attendant, apologizing. And he's like, babe, this is a perfect storm. Don't even worry about it. At this point, he's timed out as flight attendant. And he got on there and he was like, I'm just going to do this. He was like, I'm just going to stay on the flight so we can get you guys there.
Wow.
Our flight was at 10:45 p.m.
Yeah.
Larry continues to shit every 15 minutes for 4 hours. Grace, it is now 3 a.m. We're still at the gate.
Oh,
he has been shitting for 4 hours on a plane that hasn't moved.
Oh my God.
We are the most hated people in America.
Yeah. I'm like, has this story circulated online already?
Literally,
because someone out there has posted about this.
I called Delta and complained about us. You know, like there's a man across the aisle who's getting drunk. You know, he's there for 4 hours. Yeah. Who literally, I see the flight attendant come over when he tells us about Larry, like first accident, goes over and the guy's talking to him and I hear him go, oh my God, that's hilarious. I thought someone had a burrito on board. Like everyone and it is just poor Larry looking at us and then it just goes like, and it's like another shit.
We
had 3 trash bags of soil or like garbage, like shopping bags of soiled stuff. Grace, I've never been so uncomfortable in my life. I was so awkward. We finally take off at 3 a.m. We have been on this plane since 11 p.m. It's been happening for 4 hours.
My God.
We've gone through so many wipes. Finally, like Larry goes to sleep and we're like, is there more? How is there more? What happened? Like, how is there more?
Yeah.
What did he eat in this Airbnb that Beans didn't eat? And like, should we be taking him to the hospital?
Right,
we can't get off the flight. I heard a girl 2 rows behind us go, can I volunteer to get off this flight? Because we were overweight. So then they come on and they're like, we're going to take 40 bags off this flight. So by the time we get to LA, which by the way, we were freezing the whole time because there'd been puke all over all the blankets. We were like, are there more blankets? No. So Beans is just like, you know, like convulsing. She's so cold on this flight. They're keeping it cold. He went down the aisle 3 times with air fresheners.
Yeah, of course. It
just smelled like dog shit and aggravation.
Oh my God.
And meanwhile, you can't just like, I'm just looking at people being like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm really nervous. He's not okay. Like, but it's not like, a baby.
Right. That you're like, he doesn't normally do this and I'm a good dog owner.
He doesn't normally leak out of his butthole every 15 minutes for 4 hours. Like how is this even possible? So we finally land at 6 a.m. in LA. At 6 a.m.
My God.
I obviously am like grabbing the flight attendant and being like, you are an angel. I'm calling Delta to be like, you need every raise in the world.
Yeah, because you know everyone else on that flight called Delta to be like, I need a refund.
The only saving grace is that there were 2 other dogs in first class, one in front of us and one to the right. And I was like, as we left, I was like, maybe the rest of the plane thinks it's one of them. Maybe. But so we finally get off the plane. It's 6 something in the morning. We're like, we couldn't go to sleep because we're waiting for him to do it again,
of course not. Like my worst nightmare is me having to shit every 15 minutes. I cannot imagine having a dog doing it.
Girl, it was so bad that again,
it's like, do you take him to the bathroom and just hold him over the toilet?
That's what I asked him because again, we haven't moved in 4 hours. This is all happening while we're stuck.
Right.
It would have been the worst flight ever without a sick dog. I said to flight attendant, I was like, when we take off, can I just barricade into the bathroom and hold his ass in the sink? Yeah. And he was like, no, you can't because that's the pilot's bathroom and like whatever. But like I was trying to think of, I was like, do we put his whole lower half in a trash bag? Right. And then like we just have a shitty boy. We just have a boy in a shitty bag. I mean like Chip's little system of like, and I mean he was going so fast and I'd be like, I was taking wipes and just waving them in the air. And like, just like you have no idea, like the eyes that were on us, and we haven't even left yet for a 5-hour now red eye flight. We get there, we go to luggage. Is that what it's called? Yeah, luggage.
Yeah, baggage claim.
Baggage claim. Luckily, our stuff was there, but we were getting there being like, we don't know if they took our bags off.
Right.
It's now 6:30 in the morning.
Right.
We finally get home. Oh God. Larry's like so dehydrated, poor guy. Yeah. We just like stay up till 8. We're just 8 a.m. and we haven't slept. And we're like, I'm not kidding. Chip and I looked at each other for the next day after like having some naps. And we were like, it feels like we just came back from Australia.
Yeah,
I bet. I'm so disoriented.
I bet. And also the amount of stress that you guys
we're just holding
for 12 hours, basically, just like convulsing and keeping stress in your.
And poor Larry vomited twice, and he's sitting there, and like Chip's like, "Don't get up, don't get up." You like, we're just be like ready for the vomit, not knowing he's shitting out the back.
God, poor guy.
Imagine sitting in comfort and seeing in front of you shit splatter on the side of the plane. And no one and then you're just sitting there gagging. And you have to call the flight attendant to be like, will you let them know something just shit on the side of the plane?
Chip was just sleeping.
And Chip just, eye mask, out. And I'm just going, oh, I hate it when people eat on flights.
Oh, God.
Like, I was begging for us to take off just for like, I remember when we first took off, or when we were like waiting to take off, and he finally brought around like, they did trays of coffee, you know, it's obviously later. I was like, thank God there's another smell on this plane.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. Because I'm like, did that make anyone else throw up on the back of the plane?
I walked to the flight attendant to be like, I'm going to need another garbage bag and more legs and whatever. And was I walking back, the woman in front of us was fully in her shirt, like staring me down.
Yeah.
Grace.
Oh my God.
Here's the thing. Worst flight ever. And like, Poor Larry, but like we don't know because like we stay at this Airbnb.
He's been fine since?
He's been 1,000% fine. Man. Not one little weird. So we're like, maybe there was some weird, like, I don't know, like ant poison or something in the Airbnb that he got into that Beans did. But and I was like, I'm so glad this happened in 2024. I was like, I could not have started the year covered in dog shit and being hated by everyone.
That is so traumatic. I would have been just covered in hives, crying, but trying not to because just actively like everyone hates me because you tried to get off the plane.
Yeah, and like, they couldn't because I was like, I think we should take him to the vet.
Yeah, exactly.
Like this has never
there's
happened.
So many layers of anxiety happening all at once.
So many layers, and also it's being like I felt like Chip and I were in war together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it was truly like Lysol. Trade back again. Do you need more napkins? Blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, it was just like,
God,
what do we do to get through this? Poor little guy. He was so upset. But I will say, like, God, I felt like I had a fairy godmother in our flight attendant because if we had that and he'd been mean to us, I would have had a breakdown. Like I didn't cry. I didn't cry during this, which would have been my like go-to emotion.
You probably were in literal survival mode.
Shock. Yeah. And to the point where we landed and of course coming around and I'm like, thank you so much. Like you don't even understand. And Chip was like, what do I do with all the bags? And he was like, this is when we were like descending.
Yeah.
And he was like, I already called the ground. Like they're taking, just leave it, just leave it, just get your little pup, you know, like home. And I was just like, thank you. Because if someone had also been like, what the fuck? And thank God we were doing it legal.
Yeah.
Thank God we were hiding a shitting dog. I'll never hide a dog again because I was like, that would have been the most. My God.
You'd be on the do not fly list.
Yeah.
You'd be immediately on there.
DNF, baby. So that was my worst flight I've ever had. And probably the people around us too.
I guarantee someone out there has tweeted this or has made a TikTok series in real time that is making the rounds. Please point us in that direction because Mamrie is the source.
I mean, I truly, like as we're landing.
Was there anyone famous on your flight?
No, I don't think so.
That would have been amazing.
I don't think so. I wish. Oh, yeah. I wish it'd been like Ava Max being like, what the fuck is this dog shit smell? It was truly so crazy. And like, the worst part was me wanting to get off the plane so bad, that whole flight, and then just going, I'm dreading when they turn on the lights.
Yeah. Oh my God. How do you...
Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Get me out of here.
Because how do you make that face that's like...
I'm sorry. I know.
I'm sorry. Or like, what was it? One of those dogs? Because that's what happened on our flight. Someone was ripping ass so hard that I was cracking up because Elliot and I would both like immediately do the tiny acting face to like let people know it's not us, but it just looks like you're acting no matter how much you do it. I was just like, someone needs to go to the bathroom, please. I can't imagine.
The smell was so bad. And then even like I saw the woman like across the aisle who had a small dog get the carrier and sniff.
Yeah.
Because everyone was like, oh my God.
So she was doing it. She was doing the tiny acting like it's not my dog face.
She was more like she woke up and was like, has my dog shit himself?
Yeah.
I was like, no, it's ours.
No, it's ours.
It's ours.
And it's nonstop. And we're sorry.
So sorry for such the gross tale, but it truly was traumatic. I'm sure for Larry too.
I know.
He's been so tired.
Poor little guy. I hope he's okay.
He's fine. Yeah. Literally, he already had a vet appointment scheduled on the 31st, so 2 days later.
Yeah.
And for like his vaccines and things like that. And he had just acted so normal. I was like, he had a bug, but like, I don't want to run a fucking $800 blood panel if he's been acting normal for 2 days.
Right.
Pardon me.
Right.
So who knows? So guys, It was a beautiful travel. It was
I thought
lovely.
you were going to say something about the Atlanta airport ruining your travel.
No, we ruined everything. I mean, we still were delayed and the app crashed. And listen, this would have sucked in the air.
Yeah.
But it really sucked not moving.
Oh my God, that would have destroyed me mentally. The fact that you couldn't get off the plane, I would have been like, wow, whatever God I don't really believe in is up there.
He's dead to me now.
Yeah, they are dead to me now. Wow. Yeah. Well, you made it through.
We made it through. I mean, literally, it was kind of like in the bouts of COVID where it's like Chip and I were like, if we can get through that.
Right. We can get
we're good. If we didn't break up then. And also Chip was like, well, if I didn't want kids before, I really never want a child. He was like, that's the closest I'll ever feel to being like a parent on a plane feeling bad.
100%. Yeah. You guys got to travel with trash bags now, I guess.
And I was like, yeah, well, kids cry. They don't shit on the side of the plane.
I can't imagine. Honestly, I kind of wish that I would get a moment to see shit smeared on the side of a plane and have to tell someone.
Listen, the worst thing is looking behind you and 3 people going, holding their noses and shaking their heads. And you're like, oh no. Oh no.
My God, no.
So anyway, sorry to put that in your brain and your nasal passages, but it was, listen, we share everything here.
Yeah.
And that was a rough go.
And I'm just so curious because there's got to be someone that has posted about this somewhere. It is too horrific and specific not to.
It wasn't just traumatic for us.
Oh, man.
It was traumatic for 6 A, B, and C, a flight, blah, blah, blah from Atlanta.
Yeah, damn. Well, I'm happy you guys are okay now.
Yeah, thanks.
Jeez. You sign up for something, forget about it after the trial period ends, and then you're charged month after month after month after month. The subscriptions are there, but you're not using them. Did you know 85% of people have at least one paid subscription going unused each month? But thanks to Rocket Money, you can see all of your subscriptions in one place and cancel the ones that you're not using anymore. Save that money. Like we figured out that we were doubling up on streaming service subscriptions in our house. What were we thinking? But thanks to Rocket Money, which is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, we're not doubling up anymore. Rocket Money also monitors your spending and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. You can see all of your subscriptions in one place and know exactly where your money is going. For ones you don't want anymore, Rocket Money can help cancel them. Their dashboard gives you a clear view of all of your expenses across all of your accounts, so you can easily create a personalized budget with custom categories to help keep your spending on track. See your monthly spending trends in each category to know exactly where your money is going. Rocket Money will even try to negotiate lower bills for you. They automatically scan your bills to find opportunities to save, and then you can ask them to negotiate for you. Yeah, they'll deal with customer service so you don't have to. That in and of itself is a true gift. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/TMGW today. That's rocketmoney.com/TMGW. rocketmoney.com/TMGW. It's a new year and we're all about setting goals and actually hitting them. One of my goals this year is not to wake up and just drink coffee until I wonder if there's an earthquake because I haven't put anything in my body. And honey, how am I doing that? Well, I'm having a little Huel in the morning. If you don't know what Huel is, it's spelled Huel, like fuel, and it will fuel your body with what matters. And that's why I'm telling you about them now, because I've been living for Huel lately. Me and Chip have actually been fighting over them. A true story. Their Black Edition ready to drink is a complete meal in a bottle, high in protein, low in sugar, and packed with all the nutrients you need to perform at your best. Because I don't feel like doing a big breakfast every morning. It makes me feel tired, but Huel is giving me that fuel without weighing me down. I'm absolutely obsessed with it.
It's a perfectly balanced meal, taking the guesswork out of healthy eating. There's no prep, no cooking. It's affordable and budget friendly with high protein meals under $5. There's 35 grams of protein, you guys. When you go on TikTok, all you hear about is how much protein you need. And especially ladies of a certain age need that protein. 35 grams, 27 vitamins and minerals, all in one bottle. Do you want to give it a try? I think you should. Well, take a leap and join the community of hooligans. Yeah, I said it. With this exclusive offer for new customers of 15% plus a free gift with the code TMGW15 at Huel.com. That's 15% plus a free gift for new customers with the code TMGW15 at Huel.com. Start your year off strong with Huel. Nutritionally complete meals in minutes so you can focus on what really matters.
Speaking of things that are okay now, but were not for a few weeks.
Okay.
Here's a story that's quite interesting.
Oh my God.
Right before we left we did so much holidays. We saw so much family, went to Florida, saw all sides of Elliot's family, went to Jersey, saw all sides of my family and like cousins I haven't seen, like intense, long travel of just so much every day seeing people. Like,
exhausting.
Yeah.
Small talk is exhausting.
And right before we left, we were packing up. We had a morning flight, but like late morning. So we were getting all of our stuff together. And all of a sudden I hear Elliot be like, Grace, come here. I have to show you something. And I was like, what? We go out front. The back window of my car is like completely cracked. I have a brand new lease car. I had taken it to Target the day before to like buy toiletries. So I knew it wasn't cracked. I was like, what the hell happened? Like fully cracked, like about to completely fall in. And we had called an Uber, like about to leave to go for the holidays. And so we're just like, is this like a defect of this new like Subaru? Is it like, did an animal like
I would think did a bird.
Right. That's what we were thinking.
Yeah.
So we literally are just like, okay, we just got a towel and taped it over the car and then just like got in our Uber and left. And I was like, I guess I'll have to figure this out when I get back. So the whole time that we're seeing all this family, I'm just checking in on the Ring camera to make sure that like the towel's still there, car still looks fine, everything's okay. We get back really late on like a Thursday night, so it's super dark out. Towel's still on the car, everything's fine. Okay. We put our stuff down, go to sleep. The next morning I get up to go. I'm like, here we go. We start dry January. I'm going to go outside and like walk around the neighborhood every morning. And I start to walk out. The front window is now completely busted.
What the fuck?
And the little like weird third window, all on one side of my car, completely busted. I was like, and we have been telling like family about this story, like when we left, being like, I keep looking on my Ring camera, like, did a raccoon fall out of the tree and like hit the car in such a way that it cracked? I'm like, did someone when I went to Target like hit my car and it like fractured the glass and then like, the change, not even the change in temperature. We're in Los Angeles. We were just baffled.
Is it some weird recall thing they haven't discovered yet?
Yeah. So then I call Elliot to come. I was like, look at this. Now the front window. And then we're looking and there's little spots like on the side of my car. And then we look down, there's BBs all over the ground.
Stop it.
From a BB gun. And I'm like, oh my God. Because I also had, my brain ran wild with thoughts.
Yeah. I'd be like, haunted. It's haunted.
I was like, even while we were away, and I'm thinking, I'm like, how the fuck did this happen? Because I am hilariously non-observant at certain things and hyper-fixated on complete nonsense.
Oh my God, same.
So I was like, has this happened? Like, has this been fractured for a while? And I just never noticed it because it's in the back seat.
You got a rear view cam.
Right. And then I was like, because I had the thought that I was like, did someone like shoot at this with a paintball gun, but you would see the paint. Yes. And I was like, I kept thinking, you know, your head goes to like every possible scenario. I was like, is this a stalker? Is this a one-sided neighborhood vendetta that I don't know someone's upset with me about? Like, what is going on? And before, like, we're sitting there, I'm like looking at the BBs, and before I know it, Elliot's like down the driveway and he's across the street. And I'm like, where did he go? And then I get a text and he goes, found the culprit coming up.
Yes, husband.
And I was like,
husband.
My God.
I'm so nervous.
I was like, what? And then I just hear as he's coming up, What did my dipshit son do now?
Stop it.
Guy, a neighbor of ours we've never met before, because I don't know my neighbors mostly because
we live in Los Angeles.
That, and also in Walking Goose, I would just like keep her away from everyone.
Of
so
course.
Elliot knows a couple of the neighbors.
I know one neighbor. I lived here 8 years.
Yeah,
like,
Elliot knows one. He was like, I know it's not that family. I know this other house has kids. So apparently he went to the door, knocked on it, said, does one of your kids have a BB gun? And the guy was like, yes, why? This is like 9 a.m.
This is a Christmas story. You'll shoot your eye out.
Exactly. So this guy who ends up being so nice.
Well, thank God.
He's mortified and he's furious. He's like, what did my dipshit son do now?
Amazing.
He was struggling in school and all he wanted was a BB gun. And we got it for him and we were thinking that he was doing it only when he was supervised. And I was like, oh, it's fine. He's like, it's not fine.
It's not fine, Grace.
It's not fine. But I was laughing because in my head, I had built up the narrative that I was being targeted specifically by someone in the neighborhood for some wrongdoing that I was unaware of, which is, how people pleasers, like neurotic, crazy,
right. You go,
brain.
Have I been taking out my trash cans weird?
Right. Or like, is someone like obsessed with me in the neighborhood and I haven't given them like these insane Lifetime movie narratives that I like, true crime podcast premises that I'm coming up with in my head.
Testing how much I'll take.
This guy, so then he's like, you guys are being so cool about this. I was like, honestly, you just relieved that I was being like targeted for some sort of assassination. So like, this is a huge relief to me that it's just your 10-year-old.
You're like, actually, thank you, sir.
Yeah, honestly, I was like, you had no idea what's going on up here. This I can manage. This is totally fine. You just need to work on your parenting or whatever's going on over there. So then I go
and don't let your kid have a gun.
Well, yeah. And so I go in and I start getting on the phone with Subaru to figure out like how everything gets fixed. And I can hear that he said he wanted to like get his son to come look at what he's done, but we didn't have to like be there for it. But Elliot goes out and I can hear like while I'm talking on the phone that he's like conversing with this family.
Did Elliot yell at him? I hope so.
No, so I get off the phone. Elliot finally comes inside. The family had left. He's like, the whole family came over. It was like the wife and the kid and the younger sister who was just like walking around.
How old is the kid?
The kid's like 10 years old. He came up sobbing, sobbing. And
but he did this twice.
He said, I know, he had no idea because the dad was like, no, it wasn't purposeful. He was shooting out the front of their house at the Christmas lights on the front of their fence. He was trying to shoot that, and the BBs that missed went up and like landed on my car.
This is a powerful ass BB gun.
I know. I've never shot a BB gun.
Me
so
neither,
I don't
but
know.
I thought it was like you got maybe 10 yards.
Right. That's what I mean. But we've all seen the Christmas Story, so it's like, they're not nothing. And so he comes up to Elliot and he's like, I'm so sorry for my stupid mistake. And so Elliot's like, he's like, he couldn't have been like a cuter kid.
Yeah, that helps. That helps.
And so he's like, it's okay, buddy. I mean, it's not okay, but
don't do this, man.
Right, it's gonna be okay. And then the dad's like, see, this is a gentleman. He keeps his cool. Keep that and note that. Like,
that is so cute.
It was so sweet. And then the mom's like, I would have been so scared. I can't believe this. This is not okay. Like, because we were
like, ma'am, you have no idea.
We were like laughing at how specific and absurd it was. And this guy is so like, everything's cool now. And like Elliot and this guy might be like good friends after this. And what a way to meet our neighbors.
Right.
Because Elliot also was wearing a Bambi sweatshirt the whole time too. Like that I had bought him when we went to Disney World to wear while we were there.
Whose mother got shot.
Man, the absolute
layers,
poetry, and the symbolism.
It's okay,
here.
Man. I mean, my favorite character's mother got shot. Do you want to kill Bambi's mom or
like,
just Subaru's?
He went down. I was like, it's so funny to me that you just went and knocked on a front door in a Bambi sweatshirt. Like, and also that's the coolest thing I've ever seen you do. He's like, sometimes the spirit moves you. He's like, I was literally at the front door already knocking, being like, I guess I'm doing this now.
Yeah.
And then the kid,
adrenaline.
When the kid came and apologized, he's like, I'm that neighbor that like the rascal kid has to go apologize to because they did some mischief to their house.
Who what was Walter Matthau's name in Dennis the Menace? Who was Dennis the Menace's neighbor? Like that is Elliot's future.
Exactly. 100%.
This is the Menace.
It was, and then we went to a rental place to get a rental car, and the guy, we got it for like 2 weeks ago. I was like, "You guys going on vacation?" We're like, "No, our neighbor's kid shot out the side of my car with a BB gun." It looked like we taped now trash bags over it because all 3 windows are fully smashed out. It looks like I've been in some drive-by situation.
Absolutely.
It is horrific looking.
And because of all like the technology now, like you remember when just like a rock hit my Audi and I was like, what do you mean this is like $3,000? Because they're like, well, because all of the wires that go through with the sensors and whatnot. So, have you seen the kids since?
No. And now I'm like, I go for walks in the morning. I just try to like move quickly down the driveway so I'm not like looking at the guy who like couldn't be nicer. He also we know a lot of the same people.
And really?
Yeah, he's
tell me offline.
I will tell you more specifics offline, but he was like, I will not be saying this story at work, but there are a lot of women I work with that would be flabbergasted and so excited to know that I met Grace Helbig.
That's so cute. And what a way to meet someone.
He was like, of course when Elliot was texting him like all of our information and everything, he was like, of course I know Grace and like her full career and like all. I was like, wow, what a bizarrely specific. And then Elliot and I are laughing about it all day. And then while also going, yeah, what if one of us got shot in the eye? Like just walking by this car. Like and also, who buys BB guns these days?
Here's what I'm going to say.
Kids still want BB guns.
Here's what I'm going to say. I don't know if I buy the Christmas light story. And listen, that's just me. He could have been going for
he's like, when I met the kid, I did get a hunch that maybe there was a little bit of mischief behind his eyes.
It was an alibi. Because the thing is, it's like, with the first one, if it had the crack, like you don't hear anything.
Well, the way our drive, we're up like on a hill.
Yeah.
And so where our driveway is situated, I can see how he couldn't see where my car was at all. And apparently BB's like arc. And like if it comes down on an arc, like the density of it, I don't know. Hank Green could fill in the science.
I'm going to be having the full CSI board.
It was
with reenactments with BBs.
But the way, because I got really into like the whole drone situation, or I'm sorry, Dior bag situation for a while.
Okay, are they saying that? So
I don't know why they're saying that.
It came up in my algorithm last night, and I was like, oh, is that kind of like when people change the name so it doesn't get flagged?
Yeah,
like is the government flagging the word drone?
Yeah,
so
something like that.
Or like what is it called? Shadow banning?
Yeah, there's something going on. There's a reason that people are saying it, not just for fun. But I got into the Dior bags for a second.
Of course, you were in New Jersey,
so of course all my brain is like going crazy about like how the fuck did this window thing happen? I was like, you know, and I was also laughing. I was like, if Chip had seen it, he probably would have in 4 seconds been like, that's a BB gun that did it. Whereas I'm like, a raccoon fell out of the tree and it broke the frame of the car and it cracked this one window.
I get it. No,
it took Elliot and I until seeing BBs on the ground to be like, it's a BB gun.
Maybe it's this. Or is this petrified rabbit poop? No, but I get it. The imagination goes insane. And like, especially us with like years of being a woman living by yourself.
Yeah.
It's like I will see I saw like a pear or something in the front yard with one bite out of it, which clearly means a squirrel had a piece of fruit, had a bite and dropped it. But in my head, I'm like, so a hobo came up from the Amtrak tracks, thought he'd have himself a little piece of fruit.
Right. And
like the guy who lives in my attic.
I know.
Came out for a picnic.
And then the scary part is like, we have had situations with like, you know, the people crossing lines in terms of like audience or fans or stalkers in that way. And lots of people have lots of crazy stories in our industry about that. So your brain spins off in that direction of like, how serious is this? And what is this? It's such a relief to find out it was like a 10-year-old boy that is learning his, limits as a young man.
And carry. You could have given me 50 guesses.
Yeah.
And I would never have guessed it would have been such a Norman Rockwell painting.
That's what I mean. It's
with all your coyote stories and raccoon stories.
Oh, by the way, the raccoons are using our garden tools. That's the other thing that's happening in our house. I have photos that I'm going to put up on Patreon.
Where's Critter Corner?
Oh, wait, which one is it?
It is Critter Corner, y'all. It is Critter Corner, y'all.
What? This is our new Critter Corner.
I'm like, did you see Randy?
What? There's just a loose hamster on the floor.
It is Critter Corner, y'all.
This is our new Critter Corner.
Okay, now hold on. They've evolved.
They are using the tools. We thought they might be using the tools because I have some garden tools that I just put in. I think I talked about this in the previous episode at the end of last year. Put in a planter and push to the side, just like on the ground. And then one tool that I've never even seen or used before, but came in the pack of garden tools that I had. It's like a hook thing.
Okay.
Was just like laying next to the side of this water fountain that we know that they come in to drink from. Like this water thing feature that we haven't turned on in 4 years. It just has like stagnant water from when I water the plants out there. It was just like laying on the side. First of all the pebbles have been moved to the side.
I knew they were getting into the rocks.
So we knew they were getting into the rocks, but the tool was laying there. And I went to Elliot and I was like, did you use this? He's like, I thought you might have put it there. And I was like, and my second thought was the raccoons. He's like, the raccoons was my second thought too. And so we put it back in with all of the tools again. 2 days ago, come out, tools out next to the water, and a huge hunk of rock that was at the bottom of this like fountain thing has been lifted out and put on the side of the water.
So they're pulling up the rock and they're using the
to try and find
dig
like
for some grubs.
Some grubs, because there's probably grubs that have grown in the algae of this thing that hasn't been cleaned out in years and is just like stagnant water that the birds swim in. And
do you think if you got this fountain up and running that it would attract more raccoons, or they'd be like, well, our little DIY project is over?
I'm worried that it might attract more raccoons, because literally one came out the other day while Elliot was outside in the side yard and he was like, hey, get away. And literally from me to you, maybe a little further than that, the raccoon was just like on a ledge and then just like put its hand in an empty planter, and just while Elliot's yelling at it to get away, he's just looking at Elliot in the eye, feeling around inside this planter that has old dirt in it. And I was like, what if he pulls out a gun?
He's working in tandem with your neighbor.
Literally just is fishing around with tiny little raccoon fingers. And then Elliot...
And he just throws dirt in Elliot's face.
He got a blowhorn. Specifically, he's like, I'm going to use the blowhorn. I was like, awesome. Yeah, okay. And
like a little air horn, one of these guys?
Yeah. He's like, cover your ears. He blows it. Raccoon just staring, still fishing in this little planter. And then finally just like walks away slowly. Like he's been doing this for 2 weeks. And he's like, well, you guys weren't here.
Well, let me ask you this. When he did the air horn and the little raccoon was doing its weird little like witch movements.
Yeah.
Are you stoned and laughing, or are you nervous?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I was stoned and laughing because it was also our first day of dry January, too. So it's just like, what? And also, I could see them on our Ring cameras the whole time we were away. I was like, man, they are really lumbering around all night long.
See, I would have been like, so clearly these windows are the raccoon using the tools to get inside. They think there's food inside.
Yes, that's another theory. You could see how it could be anything other than a child with a BB gun. But the raccoons are hilarious. There's like 3 of them now. I thought there was only 2. I'm gonna try to set up a Ring camera specifically on the area of the fountain because I just want to see what they're doing. Like, I'm not even scared of them really. I find them kind of cute in a certain sense. I
want you to set up a Ring cam and then you and I put voiceover to it and put it on Patreon.
Yeah, okay. I would
this
love
is
that.
our Meerkat Manor.
Because sometimes it's funny when they're on the Ring cam, like the light goes on, the spotlight goes on and it's like starts filming, them. They freeze.
Oh,
like they're like, oh, I don't want anyone to see me. But
you need some night vision.
But they freeze just in like, and then they'll keep moving. I'm like, these are goofy little guys. I'm a big fan.
Man, okay, well, here's what I say we do, because you and I are actually going to a hot Pilates class.
Yes, we have to get ready to go.
Look at us go. We're doing dry January. We're going to heated Pilates. I think since this week was unexpectedly about dog diarrhea and BB guns.
Yeah.
We should save, and next week we talk about resolutions, intentions, the planet. Basically do our normal first of the year podcast next week.
I feel like that'll be more authentic too, because everyone has these high hopes the first week of January, but it's when you get to the second and third week that you're like, realistically, here's what I think about this year.
I like that. It's going like, not let me just tell you my game plan. It'll be like, now the game plan's in motion. Let me tell you what I've altered, what I've changed, and what to do. But we are doing dry January, which, for me is a big deal.
Yeah, it's not. I'm really enjoying it so far. Mamrie's having we will do sober activities or like some cannabis activities, whatever makes sense. But it's nice to wake up in the morning feeling good.
Here's the thing. I haven't hit that yet.
Yeah.
I'm sleeping well.
Yeah.
But I'm still waking up like later than I want to and being like, here we go. Like I haven't hit, like life just feels like a hangover.
Yeah. Well, it might take another week and then you get into like
here's to hoping. I'm hoping I get that surge of dopamine because right now I'm just like, well, this would be better with a cocktail.
Yeah. That might never go away.
Go away. But so I'm trying a lot of non-alcoholic stuff. So I'll talk about that on the pod too.
That's
or
really,
put it on Patreon.
Yeah. Because I feel like that's so obviously of the moment, but also of the moment, like culturally longer than Dry January.
Sober curious.
Yeah, that I think that's something to be, it's good to get into.
People are curious about the sober curious things.
Yes.
Well, I'm glad that you aren't being stalked by a raccoon or anyone in your neighborhood.
Yeah,
I'm glad that Larry's butt stopped.
Yeah. Oh, he seems great today.
I mean, to be determined if we are banned from Delta.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I just got that platinum status. Now they're going to be like, sorry, ma'am, you got to go fly American.
I just cannot believe that there's not a single video or tweet or something or TikTok uploaded about this exact flight that we just don't know about yet. So.
Yeah, keep your ears and eyes peeled. Poor Larry. God bless Chip. He wins all the awards for being Dad of the Year with Larry.
Yeah, truly.
Okay, I'm excited about this year. I'm excited about all the things. I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah.
But now we got to go sweat our little sober hydration out.
Let's do it.
This got weird.
Yeah.
This might get weird.